and as you can see, it just falls out. This is a Commodore 1084S video monitor, and I am borrowing this from a friend. Well, I'm basically doing him a favor, because he would just keep it in his garage and ruin the whole thing. The thing about these monitors is that they usually have an issue with the lid in the front. This monitor is no exception, so let me just push, and as you can see, it just falls out. So as you can see here, there's this notch and hinge that just goes together like this. Easy enough. There's just one slight issue, and that is that this side doesn't even have a notch. It's completely broken off. So that's what I'm hoping to fix today. I have a couple of ideas, so let's just get started. First of all, we need to clean this though, it's horrible. Alright, let's just get this cleaned off. There's a lot of dust and some marks on the front as well. I don't know if they're scuff marks or maybe we can rub them off. Let's just have a look. Now, another issue with these is that the hinges are often broken, so we have to be careful that we don't break anything else while cleaning this. It's nasty. So that's the inside, looking way better. It's way better. As you can see, this front cover just works like this. There's this notch right over there, and you have the hinge, and it just basically just goes in like that. Easy enough. But as you can see here, we have no notch in this end, so there's just nothing there. So I've been thinking about a couple of ways to fix this. As you can see, we luckily have this notch right here. It's actually a hole into the chassis. Just a hole straight into the monitor. And it's hard to see, but the thickness here is like about 2 millimeters. On the down, like down there and in, it's 2 millimeters, and it's the same thing up here. Now on the side it goes way deeper, and also on the right side here. But if we can somehow make something that we can just put in there, like something that we can just press fit in, and it can grab hold at the bottom and on the top, then I think we can create a new hinge somehow. I'm thinking it might be possible to 3D print something that actually sticks in there, and maybe even like if we can make it so shallow on this side, maybe just a couple of layers thick, it might actually fit on the outside of the hinge. So that would be on the outside of this hinge. As you see, there is not much room, so it would have to be like a couple of layers thick at most. Well, I say at most, but we can have less than one layer, and I think minimum is going to be 2. Now, if that doesn't work, my other idea is to just do the same thing, but just have like an arm coming out here and then having the notch on the inside of the hinge. That should also work fine. And I mean, it will show a bit more, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, I've taken some measurements, so let's just jump into Fusion 360. So this is the first design I came up with. So I think we can just press fit this into the opening in the monitor, and then this just sits flush at the end like this, and that's our new notch for the hinge. Now I am thinking that this is going to be too wide here, because this is like, I think it's 4 layers, so I think that might actually be 8 millimeter, and I think that's too much. But let's have a look. As you can see, I have inserted the 3D printed pop-in hinge thingy. I can already tell that this is gonna be an issue. It's too thick here, but we can have we can have a go and see what happens. The hinge is supposed to go like that. Right, so as you can see, it builds kind of far out. I think it's about 1 millimeter. So I think that's going to be an issue. I have the lid inside the hinge on this side, and if we take a look at the other side, gonna see that it hits the pop-in hinge. That's going to be an issue. And even if I do push completely up against the wall, it's just going to be too tight. I'm just going to end up breaking something. So that's a no-go. Second try. As you can see, this hinge is actually way shallower on this tab here. But as you can see, it's also missing the notch, and that is because it already broke off. The reason it broke off is because I actually did get this. I did actually manage to put this in place over the notch, but it was just too tight still. I think we have to switch the design and just go with the notch arm on the inside of the hinge. So this is version 3. This is the second solution I was talking about. So This goes into the monitor like this, and the notch actually sits on the inside of the hinge. So in this case, it sits like this on the inside instead of the outside. As you can see, same issue, I've already broken off the notch. So we're back in Fusion 360. I have been doing some improvements and just been working on the issues we had on the previous revisions. So I've removed some material and just did some touching up. So let's just send this to the printer and let's have a look. Okay, so I finally think we're onto something. But I changed a few things. I have changed, as you can see, I've removed some material around, around here. Like I made this smaller. And that is to, it was actually rubbing up against the lid itself. So I think that's what contributed to the notch breaking off a few times. Still the same. So this goes like that, and this just presses into the monitor, and we should have a nice hinge. Okay, we're getting there. So this is a few iterations later, but we finally have a working hinge. Look at that. That is pretty good. So this is the close-up on the microscope. I think that's really good actually. Let me try and close it. I mean, it stays closed, and this is actually it's just the lid. It's not a great fit. Like if I press it in on the one side, it just pops out on the other. So has nothing to do with the hinge, but it does actually work. Ta-da! I guess all we have to do is just print this in a more matching color maybe. So I think we have the final design. I printed this in a white-ish PLA. It's like off-white as the closest one I have to the color of the lid itself. It's a bit whiter than the lid, but it's as close as I can come. This also goes on the inside though. So let's give that a go then. And there we go. Look at that. That is just lovely. It's not a complete match in color, but it's pretty close. Not too bad. That is really nice. I am very happy with this result. I think this is such a good, like, inobtrusive fix to the issue. It just pops in and you have a new hinge. Very, very nice. No glue, no destruction. I'm very happy about this. It's obviously different than the original, but it's still a very nice mod, I think. Well, not even a mod, a fix. perfect. There we go. It just pops in just like that. Very nice and clean. And then you can just pull it out just as easily if you want to. So let's do a final test of the whole thing. Push, boom, all good. Push, close. That looks like a working lid to me. Alright, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I would appreciate a like if you liked the video and a dislike if you didn't. And if you really liked it, then please hit subscribe because that helps a lot. See you next time. Bye bye.